Welcome to video lecture on data structures. Myself, Dr. Shubha S., Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from Government First Grade College, Malleshwaram, Bangalore, would like to present this video lecture. So in this video lecture, you will be learning about what is sorting, different techniques of sorting, bubble sort technique with its algorithm and program. So sorting. Sorting, it is a technique of organizing and arranging the elements of an array in a particular order. The elements can be arranged either in ascending order or in descending order or even in alphabetical order. Now, the different sorting techniques available are the bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, bucket sort, radix sort, quick sort, heap sort, and the merge sort. So in this video lecture, you will be learning about bubble sort technique. So basically, bubble sort is a basic algorithm for arranging a string of numbers or characters in a particular order. Now, a bubble sort algorithm goes through a list of data a number of times, comparing two items that are side by side to see which is out of order. It will keep going through the list of data until all the data is sorted into order. So each time the algorithm goes through the list, it is called a pass. Now the pass through the list is repeated until the list is sorted. So thus a bubble sort is a sorting algorithm that compares two adjacent elements and swaps them if they are not in the correct order. Bubble sort algorithm. The algorithm here shows the steps involved to sort the elements in ascending order. So in the first iteration, we start from the first index. Compare the first and second element. If the first element is greater than the second element, they are swapped. Next, compare the second and third elements. Swap them if they are not in order. The process goes on until the last element. Now the same process goes on for the remaining iteration also. After each iteration, the largest element among the unsorted elements is placed at the end. So now let us take the bubble sort technique to sort the numbers in ascending and descending order. Now in this program, we have the variables a of 20, that is an array to store maximum of 20 numbers. I and j are the variables used for looping purpose, and t is a variable to store the temporary value, and n is a variable which holds number of elements in the list. So next is we have the input statements where we are asking the user to enter the number of elements in the list. So as an example, let us assume the user enters the number 5. So next, we ask the user to enter 5 numbers. So now that we have for loop, that is to accept the 5 numbers. So when I is 0, we enter 15. When I changes to 1, we accept that is a of 1 as 21. And when I changes to 2, we accept a of 2, which is 12. When I changes to 3, we accept a of 3 as 8. And when I changes to 4, we accept a of 4 as 10. So now that from a of 0 to a of 4, we have the values in the memory. So a of 0 is 15, a of 1 is 21, a of 2 is 12, a of 3 is 8, and a of 4 is 10. Okay. Now the logic of the bubble sort is For I is equal to 1 to I less than n, I plus plus, and inside the I loop, we have the j loop. So j is equal to 0 to j less than n minus I, j plus plus. And inside the j loop, we have a decision making statement. So if a of j is greater than a of j plus 1, then swapping of the two elements will happen. Otherwise, it will continue with the j loop. And when j finishes, it comes out, I, I will increase by 1. And so the process will continue. So now let us see how this logic is going to work. So we have the values 15, 21, 12, 8, and 10 in the memory. So when I is 1, we enter inside the I loop. Now the j value is starting from 0. Now the final value of j is j less than n minus I, which is n is 5 and I is 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4 and less than 4 is 3. So j loop is going to repeat for 4 times. That is when j is 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now when first time when j is 0, we enter inside the j loop. So here you have a decision making statement, that is a of j greater than a of j plus 1. Now a of j, which is a of 0, greater than a of 0 plus 1. So 0 and 1, a of 0 and a of 1, these two elements are being compared. Now 15 greater than 21. So 15 is not greater than 21, it is false. So the control will never enter inside the true block. Now again j changes to 1 here. When j is 1, again we enter inside the j loop. We have the decision making statement a of j greater than a of j plus 1. So a of 1 is being compared with a of 1 plus 1, that is 2. So 1 and 2, that is 21 and 12 is being compared. Is 21 greater than 12? Yes, true. So now that the control enters inside the decision block. So this is the statement to swap the two variables. So swapping happens between a of 1 and a of 2. So 21 and 12 is getting exchanged. Now that the list is going to appear like this: 15, 12, 21, 8 and 10. So now that again j changes to 2 now. When j is 2, again we are going to compare a of 2 and a of 3. That is 21 and 8. Is 21 greater than 8? Again true. So again swapping happens. So 21 and 8 is getting swapped. So after swapping, the list is going to appear like this. Now next is j changes to 3 now. So a of 3 greater than a of 4. So again 21 and 10 is being compared. Is 21 greater than 10? Yes, true. Again the swapping happens between these two variables. So 21 and 10 is exchanged. Now that the list is going to appear like this, and you can see that the 21 at the end of j loop, we see that the highest element in the list has occupied its place. Now this we call it as pass 1. So next is I changes to 2. When I is 2, we enter again inside the j loop. So when I is 2, the list is like this, and j is going to start from 0. And the final value of j is n minus I. That is n is 5. Now I is 2. So n minus 5 minus 2 is 3. So less than 3 is 2. So j loop is going to repeat for 3 times when it is 0, 1 and 2. So first time when j is 0, we enter inside the j loop. Now we have the decision making statement a of j and a of j plus 1, that is a of 0 and 1 is being compared. So a of 0 is 15 and a of 1 is 12. Is 15 greater than 12? Again true. So these two elements are going to be swapped. So after swapping, the list is going to appear like this: 12, 15, 8, 10 and 21. Now next again j changes to 1. So when j is 1, we again enter inside the j loop. A of 1 and a of 2 is being compared now. Is 15 greater than 10, 8? Yes, again true. So these two elements has to be swapped. So after swapping, the list is going to appear like this. That is 12, 8, 15, 10 and 21. Now j changes to 2. When j is 2, we enter inside the j loop again. A of 2 and A of 3 is being compared. A of 2 is 15, A of 3 is 10. Yes, again 15 is greater than 10, so it has to be swapped. So after swapping, the 10 and 15 has exchanged, and that is the end of the J loop. At the end of the J loop, you can observe that the second largest element, which is the 15 in the list, has occupied its place. So this is pass 2. Now, again, I value will increase by 1. Now, when that is, I changes to 3. When I is 3, we enter inside the J loop. So now that the J value will start from 0 and the final value is n minus I, n is 5, minus I is 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2, less than 2 is 1. So J loop is going to repeat twice when it is 0 and 1. Now when j is 0, we enter inside the j loop. So here a of 0 and a of 1 is being compared. So a of 0 is 12, a of 1 is 8. Yes, again 12 is greater than 8. So these two elements has to be swapped. So after swapping, the list is going to appear like this: 8, 12, 10, 15 and 21. So next again j changes to 1. When j is 1, we enter inside the j loop and we have the statement a of j greater than a of j plus 1. That is a of 1 and a of 2 is being compared. That is 12 and 10. Is 12 greater than 10? Again it is true. So these two elements has to be swapped. So after swapping, you can see that the list has appeared as 8, 10, 12, 15 and 21. So since the J loop has reached its final value, and um, at the end we can observe that the third largest element, which is 12, has occupied its place. So this we call it as pass 3. Again, now the I value has to increase. So I loop, you can observe that I started from 1 and the final value of I is less than n means less than 5, which is 4. So I loop has to repeat for 4 times. So it started with 1, 2, 3. Now that I is going to change to 4. When I is 4, we enter inside the J loop. So when I is 4, the list is like this, and we have entered inside the I loop. So J loop is there. J loop is starting from 0 to j less than n minus I. So n is 5, I is 4. So 5 minus 4 is 1, less than 1 is 0. So that means J loop is going to happen only once. So when j is 0, we enter inside the j loop. So now that you can see that a of 0 greater than a of 0 plus 1. That means a of 0 and a of 1 is going to be compared. So 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 means 8 and 10 is being compared. Is 8 greater than 10? No. So the swapping will not happen. And since j has reached its final value, j loop has to terminate, and also that I has reached its final value. So at the end of the fourth pass, we see that the fourth element has reached its final value. Okay, so the sorted elements are there in the memory. Now the output statements, you can observe that the ascending order, that is for I is equal to 0 to I less than n, we are going to print A of I. And for the decreasing order, we are going to print from the reverse. That is, for I is equal to n minus 1 to I greater than or equal to 0, I minus, we are going to print A of I. So this way we can observe that when the list is having the 5 elements, it would have sorted the list both in ascending order and in the descending order. Yes. So you have seen that when the n value is 5, it has the number of passes was 4. So it means that when there are n elements in the list, The number of passes will be n minus 1. Okay, so now that we have come to the end of this video lecture, I hope you have understood the concept of sorting and the bubble sort technique. And in my next video session, you will be learning about the insertion sort. Thank you.